Here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello. How you doing?
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Howdy folks, how we doing? Welcome on in. It's freezing cold here today. The day started off with a brisk 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 7.5 degrees Celsius. So a bit chilly for me, considering it's still autumn and not winter yet. It's getting colder. We had a bit of a cold snap the last couple of days, so must be snow in the mountains or something. Leslie and Terry, how you doing, guys and girls? Girls in this case, I guess, unless I decide to call you guys, which is fine. 45 is your high. That's terrible. Let me sneeze. Hang on a sec. Excuse me. All right, chilly. It is chilly. Now, I took the liberty of wanting to work on this neck today, so I glued up the fretboard this morning actually, about 6 hours ago. It's good enough now to take off and start working on it. Hasn't fully cured yet, but that's 24 hours to cure. But let me double check that. Excuse me. That's just dust, by the way. Yeah, we're not stressing it, so it's fine. We can work on that now. Thank you for the blessings. Blessings are good. I'm going to take all these clamps off. So Terry, your favourite thing to do, work on clamps. We did the clamping, now we have to do the unclamping of this guy here. Let me see if I can get the whole picture. There we go. How's that? Is that better? That's better. Let's get these clamps off and let's have a look at what we've got here. It's starting to look like a neck now, starting to look like a guitar. I'm going to fit this on the doobie whacker. What's the doobie whacker? The body. So we can have a look at that again. And then I'm going to trim this neck up and see if we can get it carved. We need an unclamping command. We do. Release Wodger. Wiwis Wadawik. That should be the unclamping command, to quote Monty Python. Wiwis Wodger. All right, there's our neck all glued up. Yeah, it's a bit gummy still. I'm not too happy with that. It's cured, but I mean, not cured. It's stuck. It's not moving. We can do some light work. We're going to just trim that all the way down there. We're going to trim that, and we're also going to cut the shape of this guy here. So we're going to work on that. I want to just pop that in and see what the color looks up against the body. So let me grab the body. Oh, hanging up here. Cowbell. More cowbell. Pop that in. Let's see what that looks looks like, oh, okay, actually, I can't pop it in yet. I've got to get this slot cut in here to feed that. But that's the colour there. So that's going to look quite good once that's on. I do like the fact that the colour matches this binding really, really well. It's from the same pieces of wood, so we should be good. You can see that there. Okay, let's get this cut up. We're going to go into the other room, and we're going to cut that guy right along there, all the way down. How far down do I go? That's a good question. Terry, how far down do I go? That's a very good question. We're going to go... Okay. That's cool. All right. We're going to take this into the other room now. Let me see if the camera's working. But let me go fix that camera. It's the old camera that I hardly use, but it seems to do an okay job when it's working. Just quickly reset that. There we go. All right, we're good. I'll go and set that up straight. Let me straighten that up. Straighten it up, mister. Let's go and cut this up. A couple of things we want to cut. One is the shape of this guy, and one is the edges. So let's go the edges first. Fire this up. That we need. We're going to sand those edges flush now. Let's make sure though that this is correct. We want to just touch the top of that hole. So I'm going to mark the end of that shape, and we're going to shape that to fit right across there. There we go. I've got it marked there. I'm just going to draw that by hand. Oh, hang on, that's not right. So, get rid of this. Pop this guy in here. So let me clamp that down. crevices here. That. This side's a little bit long there, we need to cut that there. Like so. We won't worry about that because we need to trim that on the saw. Sorry, we're going to sand that. We're going to get this side filed now, so we're going to use a rasp. We're going to get that shape. Whoops, that's gone. To get that locked down there. That's the general shape. We'll do the rest on the sander. So I'm going to bring the sander up here. We're going to sand these flush now. We can carve the neck. I wonder if we can carve the neck in an hour. What do you guys think? Do we power through and do it in an hour, or do we take my time? BTM, what's going on? Clamps too. It makes so much sense. A shitload of clamps after watching the first stream I was here for. Absolutely. You can never have too many clamps. Terry will tell you. How many clamps do we need, Terry? There's an answer to that question. Terry will tell you right now. How many clamps, Terry? How many clamps did she say? She said, never enough clamps. More clamps, more clamps. All of them. Clamps. And then some. That's the answer. That's the right answer. So get as many as you can. More. Absolutely. Always more. Now, let me move this stuff. So I'll pop this up here. To the sanding stage. Clamp that sucker down. Now this key goes somewhere. Where's the slot for that? There it is. Down the back there. Okay, cool. Okay, this is good to go. I'm going to shape this guy first. Get that guy done first. Get that shape right. Might have to turn this just slightly. Let me move these. That's better. Got a nice angle now I can work in here and you guys can see. Cool, let's do it. I tested a new one clamp on my foot. Yep, it's not good, Willie. Ha, it ain't good. Now I'm going to do the edges first. Edges have to be done first. Why is this so? Because we want to get the right width here before we finalize the shape. So let's do the edges. Let's get them going. I'm going to lower the volume. Spectacles. I did say spectacles. Volume down. Brrr. There's the headstock with the curve high spot, low spot, and as we go down, low spot, high spot. So it's the inverse, but that's okay. That fits like this. And it just covers, just hangs over the hole slightly, which is what we want. Covers up the gaps and the joinery. And that guy is going to sit like that. Okay, so we're good to go. It's carve time. I'm afraid to say it's carve time. And then once we do the carving, we can radius this guy. But we're going to try and do the carving today. So let's get started with that. Right over here. I'm going to move this body away. I'm going to hang it up. Hang it up! Get our pens out. This is Willie's favourite part. Shinto time. Absolutely Shinto time. Let's go to halfway. 6 millimeters or 1/4 inch straight through there. That's where our truss rod is. We don't want to touch that. Okay, we don't want to touch that. Right, we've marked that out. I'm going to take some of this down. First things first. Okay, that goes down that way. I'll mark those lines on the edges again. Let's get our template. Where is the template? And why is it there? Here it is. I don't know why I broke into a German accent then. That's the guy. Okay, we're going to mark this guy roughly. Okay, we've got that volute going like that. It's our first little doobie whacker. Take this guy up from here. It's about 1/4 inch or so. Like that. Something like that. Temporarily, we're just going to do one end first. Start off at the headstock. This is a little bit different because we've got this extended heel. A bit different to a a bolt-on neck that you would find in electric. So what we do is we still go through the same process down this end, but we find that we've got to really, really be careful with the heel end, the transition there. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on getting that shape through there, that C shape with a rasp. We're going to use a little round file first. Just going to lightly start going down to there. Start rounding that volute. It starts obviously starts as a flat, sharp line, but we start getting that curve and blending in with that guy. Get this file out here. Blend that into that curve that comes down. We round that over. We blend it in to those edges. And if we trace that shape now, you'll see what it looks like. It looks like this. Just going on the edge, like so. It's a little bit rounder, but we can now start to work on that. Okay, do this end now. Take this off. You can see the shape of the volute there has changed. It's gone, it's round now. There's the profile. We're going to start stripping that back now, but before we do that, we've got to get this end sorted out. So this is the tricky part. We'll continue the center line up here. It marries to the center line that I have there already marked. And we've got to curve that away. Essentially what we need to do here is we need that heel defined. We grab our little heel circle, just the right width. Draw that, get up there. So, I can taper that in, but I'm starting with that. And then what I'm also doing is once I do that, I'm starting with, I then finish with the smaller circle inside. Why? I'll show you in a minute. Because we start with that, we keep it wide at this end and we taper off towards the point. So we're going to have a heel that's only going to be that wide, but at the top it's going to be that wide, so it wedges down like a point. Like a stiletto. Think of a stiletto. Dana, unclamp, which means we wees Wadwick. We wees the clamps. We wees the quamps. That's what you could write. You could say it like Monty Python, like that Roman guy with the lisp or with the funny accent. We wees Wadwick. We wees the quamps. That will work, Dana. That will work. Okay, so we've got that start here. Now, that means this has to go. So we start here. Mark a line right in the middle between the edge and all the way across. Right down here. We mark out the transition point. Fan that out. There's our reference starting point. And then we know what to start moving away, removing. So there's our fretboard. That can all go. Okay. Lovely, meets up nicely. Start with that. Okay. Okay, let's get started on turning that away and scooping that out. More clamps. Continue our clamping and unclamping process. Let me catch up with the chat. Clamp it up. We reach Woodworking, the clamp and his chumps. Quamp, the quamp. We reach the quamps. Halfway. We're not quite halfway, Dana, but we're getting close. Eagle Eye with a 5-watch streak yesterday. He isn't here today, but I thought I'd call that out. He's been with us recently, which is good to see. Okay, I'm going to start hammering this guy away with this big bastard file, and that's the technical name for it. Okay. Take that corner off. Might just use the Shinto. It's a little bit gentler, believe it or not, with the finer teeth. We just take a shampoo, we take those corners off. Start working that down, taking those edges off. Just a bevel to start with. The bevel's in the detail. Ha! You see what I did there? The bevel's in the detail. The devil's in the detail. Stop splintering. Just get it down the edge first. Like that. Start rounding that guy slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. It's a lot of work to do. Keep taking that face. Carry on my loosely clamp. It's looking good. Now this is where it gets interesting. Now that we've got that face sort of carved, we're going to start taking some of that off with the Spokeshave. Grab a Spokeshave, she said. Make sure it's sharp, she said. That's not set right, she said. Get the other Spokeshave that is set right, she said. This guy. And I'm just taking off the bolt from the top and tapering that in. I don't want to chip that though, that's the problem. Let me quickly tape that down. Give that a little bit of glue. Doesn't matter, we're getting this heel capped anyway, and that's all coming off. Okay, we know the bottom of that is there. We can take that off. It's going all the way to there. Get out of there. Okay, now we're getting that taper, which is what we want. Now we're going to get this guy thinner. And then we'll fan that out. Notice how we're stepping that now. We've got a step in there, and then we're going to fan it out. That's it. And then on an angle, we blend those two edges in. That's looking real good. I'm happy with that. I'll show you in a minute. What have we got? TMBO, what's going on? What have we got? Hopefully that's not a rude question. Certainly not my intention. No, what are you asking? How much are your handmade acoustics? Well, it depends. Send me a DM. We'll have a chat. I'll give you a price range. Typically anything from very basic, about 1,800 US to up to about 3,800 1,800 Australian, up to about 3,800 Australian, depending on the detail, the work, and the materials. But anywhere in between. So it depends what you want. 1,800 is probably your starting price for the basic. I'll show you the one we're making at the moment. Let's put the neck in this guy and see what it looks like. So here's the one we've got at the moment. We've got Bunya Pine, Australian Bunya Pine, as a soundboard. We've got Australian rosewood binding with a camphor laurel mixed, I call it a mixed camphor laurel sides and back. Okay, and there's our quilted camphor laurel back. This is a dreadnought, no cutaway, so these are a lot easier. These are cheaper because there's less labour involved in the cutaway than there is in the cutaway, sorry. Let me see if we can get the neck in there and give you a little look of. So the neck is mahogany, and the neck's mahogany, and the fretboard is matching Australian rosewood, that orangey reddy colour. We've got a white cedar cap on there and a white cedar heel will go on the doobie whacker. Okay, and that's going to be the look of that guy when it's finished. So that's roughly, we've got the materials there, I think on a command. Tell me, Terry, have we got that command up? What's this one called again? Yeah, look, TMBO, I'm not the dearest, but I'm not the cheapest. It depends what you want. I got the best headstocks. Absolutely, look at that. That's the best headstock. So it's yeah, like I said, they start at 1800. And we're talking about very basic. If you want inlays and all sorts of stuff, we take it from there. All good. All good. I'm going to start. What am I going to do here? Oh yeah, I'm going to finish. Flip this guy over. I'm going to flip this guy over, and I want to move this out of the way so it's nice and safe. Put this guy up here and do some. All right. Okay. We're going to take another bevel now. We're going to go all the way down. We're going to take all this bulk out. Here we go. Are we ready? Are we ready for a good time? We are. Let's mark that out. Where's my pen gone? I've eaten it. I've swallowed it. Terry, what have I done with my pen? Quick, tell me. I'm panicking. Where is it? Here it is, right here. Okay, we're going to go all the way pretty much to the center. Break it away. Pretty much the center. Break it away. We're going to get rid of that. Fall that away there. Fall that away there. We're going to get rid of all that bulk now, and that's going to go pretty much all the way down to pretty much the fretboard. Not quite there, but almost. Let's do this side as well. There we go. Okay, let's have a look. We can get a nice C shape in there now. Let's start by ripping the crap out of this wood. Whew. Roughing that out, as they say. finish it off with a shinto, I think. Starting to look like a neck now, slowly but surely. Model T's in the 20s and 30s, Texas Tom. That's awesome. Bit of grain hatching here, so we've got to be careful. Get the bulk of this out, and then I'll get the shinto on there to finish the rest off. Okay, take this neck off, mark out final for the final thickness so we can shave the rest away. That's the neck so far. You can see it's a little bit on the thicker side. We haven't finished yet, but we're getting there. It's starting to look like a neck now. Okay, we've got the thickness almost down. It's a baseball bat. Okay, we're halfway there. Just this end to go. Okay, that's good. Now we've got a bucket load of work to do down here and transition that volute. Thinned out. That's the rough shape. Let's check the thickness. Needs sanding, needs scraping, needs a lot of things, but we're down to the right thickness. It's starting to get thin now. You can see that's playable. Almost, just got to get these edges right and then we're playable for sure. Up the front. Millimeters I'm talking in. There we go. And now we want to shape this guy, right? So we've got a couple of transitions to do, to make. I'm going to use the Spokeshave just to get this corner right here. It's going to take a little bit. Actually, let me see if I've got the small round file. Yes. The finger plane might do the job. It's a bit deep. Let's adjust that blade. See how that works. Okay, that's good. It gets right in the corners. is a smaller one. Get in even tighter corners. It's a bit deep, a bit steep. Look at the size of these things. Terry, how small are they? Ah, jeepers. Okay, cool. They are tiny baby guys, little baby guys as we call them. Grabs. Here we go. I just want to get that corner, that bump out of that corner there. If you scrape with this guy, we might be able to get there. The other thing, of course, I can use as a chisel and just try and transition. There we go. That works just as well. Where's that big file? Where's that big file? This guy. Get the bulk out. It's as rough as guts, that's why I don't like using it on finer carving, but there's a bit of bulk to take out there. Like so. Flatten that a little bit. Okay, and now we can smooth that over. Smooth the file. Get those teeth marks out. Shape time. Let's check the shape. A little bit flat. A little bit flat, lopsided. It's a little bit flat and lopsided. Okay, we've got to take a little bit off here. We go nice and light with the small teeth. We keep shaping. Try the shape again. We've got to get symmetry first. Once it's symmetrical, we're good to go. It's almost there. It's very close. It's very close. Still a bit more to go. Just take a little chamfer off there. Symmetry check. Ooh, not bad. Pretty perfect. And almost perfect as well. Sandpaper time. I'm going to give that a quick sand. We're going to grab, what have we got here? 400. It's not rough enough. 240. We've got some 240 here. Yep. Just going to roughly work just any little tiny high spots. I'm going to get a pencil. Going to mark that. Just going to hit the high spots. That'll tell us if there's any high spots left over after I sand. They should all come off. Our profile done. We've got some cleaning up to do, which we will do on Monday. But we're in a position now to say, hey, that neck is almost ready. Almost ready. Straighten up after being bent over a bench. There it is. A little bit more needs to come off there, but it is an acoustic. But that's feeling quite good now. Looking good, and remember, that fretboard's really thick. It's going to come down a little bit more, but it's starting to look like a neck now. We're getting there. You can see the transition there in the heel, thinner to wider. We've got our headstock volute, which looks really good. That's come along nicely. We just got to clean up all the marks. So that's in a really good place. It feels really good. It's just out of the way. The way I position them is when you hold your finger across the middle of the first fret and you grip the neck, there is a clearance on the volute tip. There's the clearance, about 1/4 inch. Okay, that's how I know it's in the right place. You don't want that too low. Why? Because you're going to have that affecting, if that was lower and I'm fretting a note here, I don't want my hand over it because it's going to make it feel terrible. The other good thing is you can put your thumb in there, just behind there. So it's all in the right place. Okay. Volute's not too high up here. It needs to be right at the joint, right down here next to the nut, where that angle, that break angle is where that joint is. So we want to make sure we reinforce this area here where that joint thins out, the headstock thins out. Now that is a little bit meaty there. I'm going to take a little bit more off there. Not too much more, but it needs a little bit more. But that neck's starting to come along. Starting to look like a guitar, finally. I haven't got my phone, so I'm not going to raid anyone, but I'm going to head off right now. You know the feeling all too well, my friend. It is like that. So thanks for being here, guys and girls. I'll be back on Monday, so have a great weekend. I'll talk to you probably before then. Great weekend. We will, yes, please do that, Willie. We'll be back on Monday, so I'm looking forward to seeing you then. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye for now.